Never stopping. Never stopping. Losing living. Dreaming never sleep. I be gone. City tripping. Catch me when I fall. Only if I do. This is too good. What can I do when I don't wanna lose this? Lose us, lose you. I've been trying to stop the high. I've been trying to stop the high. I've been trying to stop the high.
Before the people think I'm just capping, because they're going to say, Julz, you don't have a real estate mogul on your podcast. I mean, come on now. They're going to say, it's just you and KK up there. Do we have Jdbuyshouses on the line with us?
You certainly do, alive on arrival.
Oh, wow. Let me make sure my gunshots are working, man, because if the gunshot's not working, then it didn't count. Boom, boom, boom. I need all the investors to check in. I need everybody that got more than $20 to check in. If you do not have $20, skip this episode. You are way too far in the race. But if you have $21, I want you to check in. Jdbuyshouses is in the building. We're going to let Maury B keep riding on the intro music. Juice Jones is sending out the links, ladies and gentlemen. I know my department.
I can't stop it. I've been trying to stop the high. I've been trying to stop the high. I've been trying to stop the high. I can't stop it. Lost before again. Pay the cost, stay spending. Can't get through this, tipping on this boat, stay tipping on this road. Little did I know.
Hey, yeah, hey, yeah.
All I have in this world is my balls.
I'm at the Japanese restaurant eating Wu-Tang futon soup. Get I bought a pistol and he act like he ain't even know what to do. Hey, told him I already caught the nigga, all you really gotta do is shoot. But I ain't had time for that, I just took the pistol away and let it loose. I need a 4-door for me and 3 of my shooters, I don't need a coupe. I'ma be me, BG, why the fuck would I ever wanna be you? If you want love, come sign out to be a maintenance man, I'll give you the boot. Bend it over, make it scoot. Hey, I'm at the Spanish restaurant eating mucha lucha buenos dias tortillas. On the set, the shit bustin'. I swear to God, I couldn't believe it. She busted open on her penis. Use no teeth, you ain't no T-Rex. All I really want is the V-neck. I don't fuck around with no leeches. I don't play around, fuck recess. I ain't text no hoes who got green text. Gotta keep the fire, I'm anemic. Fuck from the back, she screaming. Feed him a line, he fiending. Hit a dope one time, he dreaming. Every time I go in the booth and I leave the booth, I leave the microphone steaming. Bitch, I'm a hard nigga, and you not, nigga. Hey, pull up with the mob, nigga. I'm tryna drop niggas. Hey, that Glock got a cock, nigga. I'll pop niggas.
Alright, that's enough. That's enough because it's enough going down in the streets already. Lil BG, we don't need you turning up the crime rate. We are here to talk money. KK, hey!
What up, Julz?
Our playback sound good, KK?
Playback is excellent, my brother.
All right. Now, one time for Julz almost being on time and Jdbuyshouses, how much have I been annoying you with this not being on time thing?
Oh, not very much, bro. I mean, I understand things happen. Things happen. We got to do a little sound check or whatever. But we all here. We all here, so we're just gonna do the best of what we got.
This is what I was thinking, KK. I was like, man, he was probably thinking this man is never gonna sell houses like this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, in my business, you can't do that. All right, but we have
in my business, you definitely gotta, when we in sales and we trying to convince somebody or something, we definitely gotta be over prepared. But we rocking out, so we're gonna be all right.
All right. Now, just before we get into your story, and I'm not going to hog the ball, KK. Shout out to Shifty Rogers out there. I want to just know, what is your business exactly?
So I buy and renovate homes, and I buy and renovate homes. I decide on whether I'm gonna some I flip, some I keep as rentals. I also locate deals for other investors, and then I package them up and sell them off to other investors. So that's a form of real estate, called wholesaling, where you will find something before it hits like the popular websites such as Zillow or Redfin. You'll line up the deal for another investor, and then you'll sell it off to them. You'll basically essentially sell your contract to them. I'm not a wholesaler in the traditional sense of the word, because I'm also a loan broker and essentially a GC and project manager at this point. So I literally have delivered whole packages to people. That, for anyone who ends up listening to this episode and they're kind of familiar with the term of wholesaling, I don't do it in the traditional sense of word. I have done some traditional wholesales, but I also buy and hold, as well as buy and renovate property. Buy and hold, or buy and renovate and sell, which would be a traditional flip. I also do that as well. And I'm in the process of getting my general contractor license. So I do the typical, flip real estate thing, but I kind of dig in a little bit deeper than most. They kind of just do each one of those titles by themselves. I kind of
you hold all hats, yeah. Okay, now KK, I want to let you have the floor, because I got so many questions, man. I'm very, very impressed. I love this guy's presentation, his Twitter. You know what I'm saying? His videos on Twitter where he just shows you he's going in these houses and doing these amazing things, man. I just shout out to Black Kings out there. But go ahead, KK. The floor is yours, sweetheart.
Well, you were throwing out some letters in there, and you were throwing out some words. Can you break down what you mean? You said something about a GC something, and you said a project manager. What does that mean for someone who doesn't really understand what that, real estate?
For sure. So a general contractor would be someone that you want to get your house worked on. So you will go contact the general contractor. You'll contact the general contractor and someone to walk in and say, okay, the kitchen is going to cost this, the bathroom's going to cost that. Your basement, your garage are going to cost all these things. A person is going to come in and give you an estimate. A person who's licensed, and who has crews to be able to go into a situation and say, okay, this is going to cost this is going to cost that. So as of right now, a bunch of my previous projects, I've hired out that person, but just from getting more familiar with that process, and then just being able to kind of speed it up and not have to be so reliant upon a third party, I'm going to step into that role myself. I was actually just kind of ranting about this on Twitter, where, real estate in general, whether you're doing rentals or whether you're doing flips, the name of the game a lot of times is just project and people management. So it ain't even necessarily, in order to get a deal done, it ain't even necessarily about the building or the numbers. It's dealing with the title company and the attorney and the loan officer and the appraiser. And
so knowing who to call, when to call, what paperwork needs what, pushing people along to get it done quicker and for less money.
All of those things, and managing it all simultaneously on several deals. So there will literally be 3 to 4 to 5 people that you're having to get, a lot of times daily updates from or with. And I'm in the process of, I'm in the middle of I'm for sure in the middle of 4 deals right now. And I'm exploring another 8. So even just finding out the background information about a property. That's called doing the title search. I just ordered up 8 title searches.
8 of them?
I just ordered up 8 of them. So doing the background information about a property, where it's okay, what are the liens on it? Who owns it? How much is owed?
kind of like the Carfax before a house.
The Carfax of a house.
Oh, go ahead, KK. I'll
Carfax
KK's came to play.
Right on.
So,
So what's your
go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
What's
KK.
your favorite part of the process?
Getting paid.
Of course.
Okay.
No.
When did you start
as a
getting
seller
paid?
or buy? Like,
what's my favorite part? Seeing things to completion. Seeing a project come to life. Because to be honest, KK, like, I don't even mean to say this to purposely sound like a good guy. But like what happens is, especially sometimes with everything that be involved in a project, I'm not gonna say getting paid has to become your least favorite thing. We obviously in this to, for money and to feed our families. But like I've been in some projects, whether it been I didn't do any work at all, or whether I actually, changed out everything. You be in it so long where you've put so much effort into it, whereas it's like, I'm not gonna say the money's not worth it anymore, but it can't just be the money, because it's changing lives. It's seeing something through to completion. It's bringing people together. It's the footage that comes from it. It's being able to narrate and tell a story. From a physical standpoint, from an efficiency standpoint, especially like flipping homes, I tell people all the time, there's easier things to do for money than flipping real estate. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because it sounds like there's way more work on the backside that people don't realize. However, it's quick and it is a high profit.
So you can make some money doing it, but it's just as far as like if you're going from 0 to 60, as far as something you don't know nothing about, and then having to learn it and study it. Yeah. And then get into it and then actually practice it from unless it's just really what you want to do, which obviously a lot of people do. From just an incubation standpoint, as I said, there's easy, like if you're starting from zero, with something, there's easier things than real estate. You know what I'm saying? Even if it just comes down to like stocks, options, e-com, like, okay, I can do this directly from the house. Yeah, you can set real estate up to the point where everything is moving and shaking without you having to lead a house. But that's like that's kind of like advanced. Like it'll take a while to get to that point. You know what I'm saying?
So the average person that gets into real estate, they're gonna have to go see the property. They're gonna have to meet with people. They're gonna have to have a learning curve. For sure, yeah. Like you starting out. Prime example, you could start off trading stocks from the crib, right? Like you could legitimately never leave the house in order to make some money on some stocks. You starting off, I'm not saying it's impossible. But I just think of all the things that you would need to learn. Two things. I'm not saying it's impossible for you to run an entire project without ever leaving the house as a newbie. I guess theoretically it is, but it would just be highly improbable. And again, just giving them two examples, like if you're talking about like something that's digital or like electronic, like there's no having to go to Home Depot, or there's no physical store you have to go for in order to like sell, trade stocks. Or even like there's, you could kind of keep things really in the house if you were doing e-com, but like whether it be you or whether it be the people working for you, somebody's going to have to physically go pick up those cabinets and lumber and paint. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, yeah, so, it was a roundabout answer to the question, like, what's your favorite part? It's just really just seeing it all through to completion and being able to narrate the journey. And yeah, you're going to make some money in the process. But again, if it were just purely just about money and not the love that I had for the actual sport, in short, there's easier shit you can do for money. Right. Because I'm sure there's days where you working 16 hours and then there's days where you're working less. But if you put them hours together, technically, you probably should be making more, but it's still like the rewarding factor of you wake up when you want, you go to work when you want, like you call your own shots. There's no one in charge of you, basically. There's a statement, there's a phrase, there's something out there goes to an extent where it's like the sum of the whole is greater than its parts. Okay. So like, he went back with doing real estate. Okay. Yeah. The shit that comes from real estate, the overall totality of it is greater than the pieces that you add up into it. So what I'm saying, it's okay, these hours, this, that, dealing with. So again, just simple numbers. Like sometimes
2 2s equal more than 4. You know what I mean? So that's what it kind of is for me with real estate. Where it's not just like this plus this plus this equals this. It's everything that you get from it. And then the momentum that you build up from the experiences and everything. Right. Mm-hmm. So it's just like everything that I've gone through, that even if it wasn't the biggest profit in the world, has now put me in position to capitalize on top of that, move on top of that, and do it better and quicker and more efficient. So whether, like I said, if it was something that you didn't make a whole lot of money on, now I know I have that experience and I know how to do that better, faster, quicker, more efficient to where I can. You see what I'm saying? Right. So the experiences.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
I was going to say the experiences and being able to narrate it and then now help other people go through that same process. Maybe I wasn't thinking that in the beginning, but now that's something that's come to me where it's just like, oh, okay, well, this is a lane of it where you can get busy with, you know what I'm saying? And then even profit from it. So I'll just kind of end that there.
Well, speaking of profit, there was a basically like a meme, so to speak, where it says that you made $20K in 1 month without using your own money. So yeah, but that catches people's eyes. So when some people see that, they're going to either think a couple of things. They're going to either think, oh, it's a scam, or 2, that would never happen. He probably found a loophole, or 3, they're going to think, damn, how can I do that? So can you break that down for us? Yeah.
All of the above. So,
the scam part too?
Had better months. For sure.
Oh shit!
Oddly enough, because I haven't had that one posted in a while, I've actually had better months than that since that one started circulating. But that's the one that kind of catches everyone's attention. Okay, so where did we start? Okay, let's break down how that went down.
How can you sell something or make that much money off of property that you didn't even put your money into it? Like, break that down for us.
Don't be hating.
For sure.
No, I'm trying to get the game. That's not hating.
7122 normal. That was normal. Normal was 10. Riverdale was 35 plus 9. That was 44. And then it was a little bit over 7. It was a little bit over 7 for 67th in May. So it was actually like 21, maybe 22 grand, but whatever. I had 3 properties. I found them. No, I was just literally just adding up out loud. Like I wasn't trying to mix it all. Okay. The short of it is this: I found 3 properties. I put them under contract.
What does that mean? So hold on, start there with this. What does that mean?
So that means he initiated it. Like Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I found 3 properties. I went up to 3 different owners and I said, yo, I want to buy your property. Mm-hmm. They said, okay, for how much? We discussed numbers and I told them, yo, I'll buy it for this much. Cool. Okay. I then found 3 different people where I was like, yo, I had this property over here. I'll sell it to you for this amount. They're like, oh, yeah.
Of course, higher than what you told the people Absolutely. That you'll buy it from. Okay.
The various spreads on those 3 different deals led to 10 grand from this one, 4,400 from this one, and 7,500 from that one. So it was like 11, 9 plus. So it was like 21.9, a little bit under 22.
So how do you keep yourself from being X'd out? Do you make sure, because of course, if someone gets a whiff that there's a middleman, they're going to always try to, let me cut the middleman out and go straight to the source. So how do you keep them from being able to do that with you?
They have a legal binding document with me upon their purchase. So again, and I'm glad that you asked, when you
I like him, yo.
So that puts me in the position, right? So like I have a legal interest. I have a legal, it's almost like, even just to kind of break it down further, it'll almost be like the grocery store, like a shoe release. If you have a spot in line, right? Mm-hmm. And let's say there was a way to actually legally save that spot. You know what I'm saying? Right. Or like a lottery ticket, like a hot shoe.
Yeah.
Like a layaway.
No, exactly. Like lottery ticket.
He put the whole crib on layaway.
Those shoes.
I got a lottery ticket to some crazy Yeezys coming out or something like that, and to get them at retail price. I can get the new Yeezys. I got a ticket that allows me to pay $300 for the new Yeezys. But obviously on the resale market or something like that, the markup
they're going to go for a crazy amount, right? But you secured your spot. with that lottery ticket.
It's the same thing. So I secured my spot with those contracts. So I got this one locked up at this price. So I think like one deal. So I locked up. Like I said, I did 7,500 on one deal, 4,400 on another deal, and 10,000 even on another deal, which we actually made 20 grand on the deal, but I split it with a partner. So it could have been a $30,000 a month had I handled everything myself. But again, someone helped me on that deal. We made 20 grand and we split it.
And
but
you got it. Because you reached out and got the help,
for sure,
even though it cut your money short, but it made the deal go faster, probably, and make it go smoother with having.
Yeah, not even. Yeah, they brought the buying party. So I brought the seller to the table. They brought the buyer.
Oh, okay, got you.
Which where I'm at now, I'd have been able to do that on my own, but at the time where I was in my career at that point, like I needed that assistance, which was fine. So yeah, that's how that went down. So again, similar to how you would do a shoe release or how it would work as a shoe release. If I had a lottery ticket for, to be able to get the Yeezys for $300, I can then mark it up for $600, $700, $1,000, $1,300, who knows? So it's essentially the same thing. I got my lottery ticket. I got my contracts on the 3 houses that then I wrote up my contracts a certain way that allowed me to, and this is actually very common. Like this isn't even really like a secret method or like something that I came up with. Contracts are signed all the time. So like, if your mom's or, your dad or whatever, they have a mortgage on their house, they go get a mortgage from Chase Bank or Wells Fargo or whoever the case may be. They may or may not still have that loan. Like they'll originate that loan and then immediately sign it off. So let me give y'all another example. Like, what would be another small relatable example? Contracts being assigned. So like, no, I don't want to get too technical, but like, whatever, if you own something, or like, okay, so me and you, KK, so watch this. Mm-hmm. If me and Julz entered into a contract for me to buy his car,
okay,
or his house, Julz wants to sell me his house for 50 grand. I know in the area, fully fixed up, the house can go for 200 grand. Let's say his grandfather or whoever leaves him a house he don't want nothing to do with. And this is actually a common situation. People's parents die, they leave them houses. They don't want shit to do with them. Okay, your grandma left you a house. You don't want to have nothing to do with it. You just kind of want to get rid of it and move on. Okay, cool. This is the neighborhood where they're fully fixed up. They're going for 200 grand. The one that she left you was a little dated. Is actually kind of like a piece of shit. So,
but it's land and it's still a structure, so it's still worth something, but it's just not.
It's land,
but it's not going to be worth 200 around you, like the houses around.
But fully fixed up, it'll go for 200 grand. So I said, KK, I'll give you 40 grand for it right now, and I'll pay all the closing costs. So your walkaway check will be 40 grand. You like bet? Okay, that's a bet. I'm gonna turn right back around and go in the next room and be like, yo, Julz, check it out. Over here in this neighborhood, they go for 200. The AR, I don't want to acronym y'all to death, but in this neighborhood, they go for 200.
They appraised
you
for
probably
200.
need to put you'd probably need to put like 70 into it in order to sexy it up for it to sell for that price. I'll sell it to you for 50. He says, bet. JD, I'm buying it for 50. Okay. I finagle and talk to, we talk to I got a contract signed with you for 40. I got a contract signed with him for 50. He's probably going to put down a deposit with me to solidify the contract. We then get it turned into the lawyers. We run title work. We kind of let the lawyers do the lawyer thing. We get to the closing table. I've married a buyer and seller. I took the middle part in between. Now, again, I don't want to degrade it by saying like I was just the middleman, because it takes some knowledge, it takes some understanding, it takes some talent in order to be able to structure that kind of deal. Like,
you're still taking slightly a risk, so it's still
for sure. I overly simplified it right now, but that's the meat and potatoes of it,
right?
So that's how I did 20. That's how I did 20 grand in 1 month. Using that method. I did 3 of those types of deals. Where I put the property under contract, and then sold the contract. So in that, as I just described to you, I didn't paint anything. I didn't fix anything. I didn't bring a realtor around. I didn't bring a contractor, a plumber, electrician, a roofer around.
That's a good method for someone who doesn't have any actual like labor skills and who's worried about being in real estate, but they don't know how to renovate. So that's a way around that.
And above anything, guys, I just did in that situation. I did what real estate agents do every day. The problem is, or the issue with them, or what they do or don't do, they don't. They take commission on the median, on the gross sales price. So what does that mean? Standard commission is 6%. So on a let's say someone sold. So let's say someone sold that same, a real estate agent sold that same house for 6%. They would only make like $3,000 on that deal. Right, because they're used to working for percentages instead of what we kind of do, like our flat fees. I know people that have done 6 figures on these same types of deals. Lock it up at this price, lock it up at 1 million, sell it off at 1.1. And on those types of deals, $100,000 ain't gonna make that much of a difference. You know what I mean? But then, like, so what I did, although to the person that don't know better, it seems remarkable. That's actually small time. There are guys that do that every single month.
Yeah, it's people that do that in the street.
Every single month doing that method. Huh?
I said, brothers that do that in the street in a different industry.
No, for sure. No. But what I meant was, like, even just on the real estate side, like that method that I did. There's guys that do that literally every month, doing this method, this method of selling property without swinging a hammer, without doing any work. There's dudes that do that every single month.
That's interesting, man. I didn't even know that's like an angle I didn't even know was in the game,
Yeah.
To piggyback off KK, I just want to let you know you just put up major points just now. I mean, you are a real podcaster. I just want to let you know, sister. All right. Jdbuyshouses. What type of house did you grow up in?
I grew up in single family houses. So I started on the west side of Chicago. We stayed at Granny House. From the west side, we moved to Maywood, which is a rough ass suburb right outside the city of Chicago, where all the people from the west side move to once they get a few dollars. Then from Maywood, we moved to the south suburbs, that's where black people move to once they now like are decent. But then it started getting rough out there, and that's pretty much where everybody from the city moves to once they get like a few dollars.
Did the neighborhood?
And then now I stay on the north side of Chicago now in a very nice neighborhood, but I do all my business in the hood. Like all of my deals that y'all see me post about are buildings in the hood and run down. Might be people living inside of them and shit like that. So, my neighborhood's nice, but all of my stuff is done on the south and west side of Chicago. Like all the neighborhoods that make Chicago famous, all the neighborhoods that make people think twice about going to Chicago, that's where I do my deals at.
Is that why you like renovating them and kind of bringing them back to life? Because then it's like you literally are building your neighborhood back.
Short answer on that is yes. The other part of it is that's what's accessible to me, and that's where the profit margins are. So all of the above. So I get to help our people. I get to help neighborhoods where myself and my friends are from. And the fact of the matter is, like, just to be honest, like, I live on a block where I wouldn't be able to touch none of this shit right now unless we really pulled some funds together. So, but like, yeah, so like where I live, like right now, I bought a building in the hood right now. I'm just waiting on the deed to record. I bought a building in the hood, like where Derrick Rose is from in Inglewood. I bought it for $25,000. It's a brick 2-family building. It's gonna need a huge renovation. We're gonna put like 120 into it. When it's done, it's gonna be worth $250,000.
So is it because it's like the hood, the ghetto, whatever, they're more willing to, one, let black people buy that because it's like, oh, we don't want that anyway. And then two, it's like, well, most of them are abandoned or they're run down anyway. So we just kind of like the city just giving them away. So somebody would do something with it.
No, they don't care about that. It's about the money.
So even just on like,
it's just a lower value because of the crime. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
Yeah, cheap. For sure. So even just like allowing black people to, like, redlining is officially like illegal. I mean, there's still like
officially illegal, of course.
Yeah, officially illegal. There's still weird practices that go on, but like, as far as speaking on that one comment is like letting black people buy. I'm getting in contact with owners directly. So if anything, most times it's easier for me to do deals in those neighborhoods just because like I'm not a white dude that's coming through trying to take their property or whatnot. And I'm not buying it directly from the city.
They trust it because it's not like gentrification happening. It's okay, a black man's buying this and it's probably other black people buying it from him.
for sure. So
it's probably supported, like
that,
you know what I'm saying. If not, you know, inspirational and supported for the most part, right?
So all of the above. But like, even just to touch on that, like prime example, the neighborhood that I live in now is predominantly white. But like I do business in nothing but black neighborhoods, right? So even just on the comment of just like letting black people buy here, especially with all them riots and shit that was going on, like let it be a situation where somebody was like obviously discriminated against. We'll be right back on the news. You see what I'm saying? Like we just really just didn't kind of put it out there, Chicago. Like we just really don't play that shit. Like matter of fact, that particular zip code when the last round of riots, I think it was something happening. Like a kid had got shot by the police. Like they came from the hood to the nice neighborhood and started tearing shit up. You see what I'm saying? So but it's all of the above. Like I said, there's a certain trust factor with me being a young black male approaching, you know, an older black lady, an older black man, a middle-aged black lady, a black person about doing some business over there versus if I was some dude, you know, if I was some white dude, you know, everybody's financial situation is different, but they tend to rock with me a little bit more, you know, and then I understand what's going on in the neighborhood. I own property over there. I'm up and down those blocks. People kind of know me from, you know, people wearing my t-shirts or my signs that'll be up in the neighborhood. So it's like, oh, okay, you're Jdbuyshouses. You know what I'm saying? They kind of like changes the tune a little bit once I let them know like who I am. Oh, wow, I've been seeing
because they know you really do this.
Word.
Yeah, and then, you know, I'm active on social media. So,
right.
you know,
when they Google him, KK, when they Google him, you know what I'm saying? They put respect on it. You know what I mean? Mr. JD buys houses. You heard? That's what he's trying to say. I spotted
in my neighborhood the other day.
Talk your shit,
like
King. I had my first. Get it off.
I had my first. Are you JD buys houses?
Okay.
Last week.
That's what we love.
Like, wow, but I wasn't nowhere near the hood. You know what I'm saying? So I talk about like a lot of stuff in like the predominantly black areas of Chicago. So when that happened, one of my guys is actually heavily into the mobile home game. I immediately hit him, and it was just like I couldn't believe that because where I do business at, it wouldn't have been that big of a. Well, it would have still been a big deal to me, but I wouldn't have bugged out like that had that happened like in some of them neighborhoods. But the fact of where it happened at, it was just like, yo, like that's insane. Like I wouldn't expect nobody on this side of the town to recognize me for what I do. Because in fact, I don't even really do business over here.
Do you feel successful?
The super humble answer would be
I don't want that one. Can I not get that one? Can we skip
I've had some success. I've made some shit happen. Like I've had some success. People know me. I made a few dollars, but it's definitely another level. It's another couple of levels that I could go to, and I'm actually feeling myself kind of being anxious on that now.
Like, are you going to end up a millionaire? Is what I want to really ask you. But I'm just being
100%. That's yeah. I mean, that's no question. That's no question.
Okay.
I'm touching the nail. So do I know them personally? No, but there's a few people. I'm gonna give y'all this without even giving up no names. Like, it's a few people with blue checks that like want to do some business with me. It's a few people that are like well-known Chicago people. I ain't gonna say no names that like want to that I had a phone number. I could call them right now. We talked the whole deal. It's definitely a few blue checks that like, you know, that got acquainted with your boy. But, you know, again, we talking about equity, we talking about cash flow, this and that. Like, yeah, to go back to your question, bro, do I feel successful? Mm-hmm. Oh, I've had some success. I've had some success. I've made some money, but like, again, not even on no like forced humility. I know, like, without even thinking hard about it, I can name 10 things that I could be doing better. You know what I'm saying? Legitimately better, not on some like trying to be hard on myself.
If you don't mind me asking, what's one of the things you could be doing better?
I need to get my GC license. I need to be GC in my own projects. Okay. I need to have more, and now I'm gonna get a little nerdy with it. My signs that are out around the city, I could have my team have them out more consistently every week, even though weather is a real factor here in Chicago. There are two things that I could say that I'm literally in the process of shoring up right now. So me even giving an opinion on the construction end of things, the background research of property type things, those are things that are literally like new. I have like new solutions to those. So certain things I can list off as problems, I'm like literally busting my ass to like for those not to be problems right now. So that's kind of TBD.
So basically, you want more control over the beginning and end of the project.
For sure. Not only just want KK, like it's necessary. So it's not just being a control freak. The reality of it is, and what I do is like you either have that level of control or you watch people fuck it up for you.
Ooh.
You see what I'm saying? Like there's really no
yeah, that's true.
Departments. I'm learning. Okay.
Yeah, you either control those things or you foolishly think that like people are gonna handle it for you the way that you would, and you're gonna be really disappointed. You know what I'm saying? And that's just coming from experience. So yeah, to answer your question, bro, do I feel successful? I've had some success, but like there's things that I could legitimately be doing better, and I'm trying to. So, you know, we'll see what that gets me. Okay. Hopefully in short order.
Now I know we got a few minutes left with you, boss man. I just want to let KK make sure she get her questions in. Go ahead, KK.
For sure.
Well, I saw this I guess a testimony or success story where you actually got a property, renovated it, and then did a lease to own with a woman so that she could eventually own the property. Can you speak more on what makes you want to do those projects, or when do you see a property and know that I can do this with that?
So now she owns it. She owns the motherfucker now. I actually was asked. What was I just talking to? One of my boys, one of my homies, who works for Amazon. He's having a stock game, but he kind of want to get into real estate. So he literally, me and him and his girl was having a talk last night about what kind of determines something that you would keep as a rental versus something that you would flip versus something that, so like that. So certain styles and structures of home, like I'm looking to keep everything now, right? Certain styles or structures of homes that don't work for my model as being a rental. Okay, now this falls into the category of being a flip. Like certain ones, you will want to keep as rentals, but then there will be certain good deals that come along where it'll be like, yo, this has homeowner written all over it. Like this isn't a rental. This isn't something that you want to be doing maintenance on. This is not something you want to be renting out. You want to fix this up. You want to get this to somebody. You want to get in and get it out of this. From a money standpoint, so from a numbers, from a dollars and cents standpoint, there are certain ones where it's like, yo, this is what you need to be doing here. But then when you're going to do that, now, if I'm going to be doing a flip, if I'm going to be getting rid of something, now for me, it needs to be a little bit more purpose driven. Besides, again, let's go back to the numbers. I was just talking to my boy last night about how that works as far as taxes. So like, there are certain properties that besides the fact that you want to help people out, you want to help people out, you want to do good. It just wouldn't even make any sense financially to try to do it as just a straight up all for profit thing anyway. So that one in particular, that house, I bought it, I renovated it. My intention was to keep it as a rental because of the organization which it turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Because of the organization that I bought it from, their thing was that like I couldn't keep it as a rental. They weren't going to let me keep it as a rental. It had to be sold to a third party end buyer. So instead of renting the house to someone or selling the house to someone else, I'm like, okay, I know you want to be a homeowner. This is kind of something that I always wanted to do anyway. From a purpose driven standpoint, from a numbers and business standpoint, it all made sense. So instead of telling her she had to leave so I could sell it to somebody else, I'm like, no, I do credit repair. I'll fix your credit. I'll get you hooked up with a mortgage broker. I know you don't want to move. Everything in here was brand new when you got it. How about you just buy the house? And then whatever few dollars that you need as far as like down payment assistance in order to be able to buy it, then I'll just hook you up with that. You've been a great tenant. We've never had any arguments. We've never had any real issues at all. Let's just do that. And that's how it worked out. She kept her word. I kept mine. And now she's a homeowner. She's now going to pay less in rent than less in a mortgage that she was paying in rent. She owns the house, and that's that. And now we're going to continue. We're going to have a continued on business relationship, and I'm gonna get her investing in property. Like my goal is to continue that story and like fucking replace her salary with real estate investments. So like, you know, that story's not done.
You mentioned helping her fix her credit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we definitely got to have you back.
We could do a few more minutes, bro. We want to, you know what I'm saying? We definitely want to touch on a major point. Absolutely, bro. I mean,
okay, so you said you helped her with the credit. Is that because since you own the property and you're renting it to her, now you can report on her credit saying payments on time, she's doing this. Like you can basically report good stuff on her credit report because you own the property.
In short, so there's a lot of misconceptions and thoughts about credit and rental. So like your landlord, I could really go into a deep dive about like how FICO scores work. But contrary to popular belief, your landlord or like your rental situation is not a metric that is used in your credit score. So me reporting whether she paid on time or not every month actually is not something that helped or hurt her score. And I know anyone who listens to this would I know what the follow-up question to that be. Well, what about self-reported, or what about rental karma, or in the true actual, like I said, there's mad like misinformation about credit. In the true actual score that gets pulled up when you're going to get a car, when you're going to get the mortgage, when you're going to get a credit card, when you want to get a loan, the stuff, the little tips and tricks that they kind of tell you that you can do in order to fix or work on your credit are actually not things that go to your real score. It's almost like, again, it's a separate conversation. So, but the negative items that the true negative items, the items that were on her report that were truly affecting her report, I helped her out with that. So I took her from, this is all verifiable. I got videos from like start to finish or whatever. She was like low 500s. I want to say she was maybe like 508. She had like a BK on her credit. She had, I know, her auto loan, had a couple of late payments on it. And I want to say she maybe had like a couple of credit cards and of course like some inquiries. I got her cleaned up and I got her into the 700 club and got her approved for a mortgage at a great rate. I think her rate, for anybody who's kind of like in the mortgage industry who ends up listening to this, I think she ended up getting like a 3.75 rate, which is insane. And, you know, like I said, she's paying less now in being a homeowner than she was in actually renting that home from me. So, you know, it wins all around the board. We're going to continue to rock with each other.
So you helping her with the credit wasn't necessarily because she was renting. It was like something you were helping her on the side because she was a good tenant. It wasn't necessarily because she was your tenant.
That's something I charge people for. I have a whole business model set up around it. But
how do they find your classes?
You know, she was an awesome Huh?
How do they get to your classes? Because you teach courses on.
Oh yeah, let the people know how to find you.
On Twitter, Jdbuyshouses, Instagram, Jdbuyshouses, Facebook, Jdbuyshouses. Link. I have a link in all of my bios. I'm actually getting ready to put out more classes and courses because my main course that is out now is on how to find the same types of deals that I find. And what I found, although that course has been doing very well, as far as sales and people's interest in it, what I found out, guys, is that because I built an overall reputation for myself in the world of real estate and not just off-market deals, what I found out is that the thing that I'm selling right now, my class that I have available right now, is actually my probably third or fourth most popular like requested topic. So a lot of people just want to buy my house. Like a lot of people don't want to find contracts to, you know, put under, you know, properties to put under contract and then sell off to someone else. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people just want to be like, yo, how can I do the thing that you did for, you know, the lady in the thread? Like, how can I? But
they just want it for themselves. Like they just want their own house.
So that's that. And then just like, again, the main course that I have out now is kind of like a semi-advanced, semi-intermediate course on what to do. And so there's people that's just basic knowledge, basic terminology that don't even know none of that stuff. So they just like, yo, what is this? What is that? So my first offering to the world was something that was kind of intermediate. And I think I need to dial it back and kind of like offer like a beginner's guide. So I'll probably put that out there for like $25 or $30. You know what I'm saying? Just the straight up Jdbuyshouses beginner guide to real estate and investing. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, the offering that I have out now that people can go purchase is probably when it's all said and done going to be my third or fourth most popular thing. Then how to buy houses and buildings without using none of your own cash. I think there will be more people interested in that than the shit I offer now. Like I offer a course on how to find the deals, but okay, once you find the deals, now you got to learn how do you finance the deal? Okay, now that you finance the deal, how do you put it together? Okay, you keeping it as a rental. How does this landlord shit really work? Do you have any tips and tricks on that? But even before we get into all of that, like, the beginner's guide. What's an ARV? What's a comp? What are, credit score? I have a credit scores, tips, tricks, and hacks guide that I'm going to put out on like how I've made $2,000 in a month off pure cash back rewards, and how I'm going to pay, like, once I start this next round of rehabs, how I'm going to be paying all my monthly expenses purely just off of credit card reward points. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll put out a guide on that. So it's just like I said, a credit tips, tricks, and hacks roadmap where it's just like, these are different things. And just kind of misconceptions on the credit again, because there's a lot of things that people think as far as like your utilities that you're paying or your apartment or whatever the case may be, where it's just like people don't really know, because I'm in this every day. I'm in this neck deep every day. I be forgetting that like people don't be knowing some of this shit. So you forget what the basics are because you're already so advanced in it. You forgot, this is a basic. Some people don't. Yeah. So it's just like this is more advanced. Yeah, so it's really, and again, and it's not even necessarily a money thing, but it's just like I'll wear my thumbs out going through the DMs. And again, that's why I'm saying like the thing that I offer now is probably my third or fourth most popular, because as I'm seeing the questions that's being asked of me, I'm realizing that like, I thought everybody wanted to do like, or I just assumed that everybody would want to do what I'm doing, but it's just make a business of it. Yeah, some people just want a house. There's different spinoffs of what I'm doing that like are actually probably more pop, and it makes sense. Like again, everybody don't want to be in the business of real estate. A lot of people just want a crib. There's different spinoffs of what I offer that I could be like offering to the world, and people like, I just want to do this. So I'll always keep all my offerings between like, depending on how advanced they are, $25, $30, $40, just make it, available to millennials and Gen Z, you know what I'm saying? Like the 35 and younger crowd, 30-year-olds, 25-year-olds, where it's like, okay, you don't have to spend $1 million in order to get this information. And I'd rather just do the volume that way. So again, guys, like I said, just going through my DMs and going through, what people are asking of me, it's been revealed to me that like, I haven't put out enough out there to really educate and help and legitimately help people. I've just been kind of forcing like what I do. Like I said, there's people that don't even want to do that type of shit. It's just like, I'm paying $1,500 a month in rent for an okay apartment. Like, how can I be owning a renovated, beautiful house for $1,000 a month and I own it? You know what I'm saying? I haven't done enough to explain that to people. I just kind of put out a thread that went viral. So your new focus is going to be on educating different parts of the process or different techniques in the process. Absolutely, KK. Absolutely. Like it's absolutely that, because it's just, I've realized that again, it's trapped or it's in my head. So then when people ask me questions and then when I get to explain it, I realize, this shit is actually going to be like an essay long if I say it in the DM. Right. And then it's like, even when talking to y'all, like, I have to stop myself from saying certain terms because it's just like, this shit. You don't even know that means yet. Everybody else isn't staring at spreadsheets and Redfin all fucking day like I do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you kind of, not necessarily dumb it down, but it's just like without turning this shit into a dissertation, it's just like, this is how this works. You know what I'm saying? That's similar to the military. What they do is like if one or two soldiers come and ask you a question, at this point you need to now make an SOB about it, like. Or SOP about it. So that way now ain't no asking me questions. There's a book, there's a standard somewhere that now answers that question. So that way, instead of answering like standard operating procedures, basically. So if someone keeps asking you the same question over and over, or different people keep asking you the same question, you now know, okay, this needs to be a video. So that way I never have to re-explain it. I can just point people to the video. So we on the same page. And then it goes from there. So okay, we on the same page where it's just like, I find myself answering certain questions mad times that I realized like I need to go make me an SOP. Like so like the universe is telling me like you motherfuckers want to know like about this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With me coming out the gate thinking they're like, yeah, I'm just gonna hit them with this and that's just gonna be that. And people are only gonna ask me about that because that's what I talk about the most. But then like I said, there's a certain topic, just to kind of double back on this, there's a certain topic that I talk about the most, but then there's a certain topic that I've talked about maybe the second or third most that caught the most popularity. So I may have done 20 posts about wholesaling and 2 posts about putting single Black moms in home ownership for less than renting. And that shit took off way more than, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you another
Because emotionally, that's what people see. Like, they're like, wait, I'm a single mom or I'm a single dad or, you know.
And yeah, people don't give a fuck about getting something on the contract for 30 and selling it for 35. Like people want to like not pay $1,800 a month for rent, but pay $1,000 for a house. I'm gonna give you another example, which this really correlates to my credit repair business. Apple with the phones and obviously the laptops and shit like that. It's been said, I read it somewhere that AirPods have become Apple's #1 product, and AirPods by themselves have been selling so much that if AirPods by themselves were their own company outside of Apple, that shit would be a Fortune 500 company by itself. Where it was like, that has what started out as just like an accessory to what they were doing. What started out as an accessory to what they were doing turned into like their #1 seller. And it was just something to just make the iPhone experience. So that's what it is. It's been an interesting journey. You know,
we've got to have you back because you dropped so many jewels, so much knowledge in this short hour. And obviously we can't do this too long because you don't want people to be overwhelmed, but there's just so much information that I hope people go back and research for themselves.
Yes, please.
Can you just, before we let you go, can you at least give people who, let's say they're trying to fix their credit, just give them maybe 1 or 2 things that they can start doing by themselves if they can't afford to, you know, hire somebody, or if they can't afford to, like, you know, something they can start doing right now to repair their credit today.
Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Pay your bills.
Student loans. Student loans. Even if you student loans and credit cards, student loans, credit, all this shit. Even if you paying the minimum, pay that shit on time. Pay it by the due date. Late payments on student loans, late payments on credit cards is what's crippled our community. Nobody looks at more credit reports than I do. Nobody looks at more credit reports than I do. Nobody, like, Black people 40 and under, 30 and under, nobody has looked at more credit reports in the past year than I have. Yo, your carpet, do whatever, your credit card payment. And here's the thing. Even on the late payments, it technically don't be late, or they don't mark it as late until you miss the second one. So today's October 1st. You got a credit card that was due and you don't pay it today. And then they'll hit you with a late fee, but they'll let you pay it on the 10th, the 16th, the 20th, the 21st, or whatever. It's not going to be, they're not going to mark it as late on your credit card until you miss it, that November 1st payment, and then it reports, and then your reporting date may not be until the 5th. So the short of that is your student loans, get them, do whatever you can. Don't tweak on them student loans, get them deferred. Your credit card payment, if you can't afford to put nothing but $25 on it, and yeah, it's going to get ate up in interest, but that late payment is going to cripple your ass. Some shit that happened that you weren't paying attention to at 19, at 20, at 21 is going to fuck you up at 27, 28, 29, 30. I've seen this more times than I can count. Pay your shit. At the very least, pay your minimum. I can close. I look at credit reports, KK. It'll take me 60. Like, people kind of try to describe it to me, and I just let them know, like, yo, just give me the login. Because, like, you trying to describe it to me, and not even to insult them, and they wouldn't give me the whole story how it went down, but they paid it, but they didn't pay
because it. Because people think they're special, but when it comes to these FICO scores and these numbers, you're not special. It's just, did you pay it? Was this the time? How much?
In 60 seconds, I can tell you what. And even one of my homies, he gave me the whole story, and I'm talking to him like, yeah, bro, just give me your login. And then was like on Credit Karma, there's certain things where like you kind of have to hit certain drop downs in order to see things. I'd be like, yeah, here's where your problem is. And he'd be like, damn, like, I didn't even see that. Yeah, because the certain thing that was a problem, it was kind of hidden underneath that. And again, if you look at something every day, obviously you're gonna be a little bit more familiar with it. But yeah, it's the two things, which is the question that you asked me. Pay them if you can. Pay them minimums. Pay them minimums on time. Them late payments is what cripple people. So it'd be them late payments, and whether it be like a little hospital bill or a magazine or something like that, or cable. Don't let that shit go to collection. If it does go to collection, try to negotiate with them for a payoff. They say you owe $500, offer them $150, offer them $200. But them late payments is what cripples people. If that shit is due on the first, pay that shit. Find a way to pay that shit. Because when it come down to you getting a house, when it come down to getting that next car, when it come down to getting some cable in your name, when it come down to certain jobs, they're professionals, people with master's degrees, shit like that. It's lawyers whose credit I fix. It's doctors whose credit I fix. It's other real estate people and real estate agents whose credit I fix. There's some jobs that will not hire your ass. There's a lady who credit I'm fixing now who like.
But is there any credit that's unfixable?
No, I don't work some magic, bro. I don't work some magic. I'm getting ready to post some more results soon. But I got a lady now. The point I was gonna make was I got a lady now who's going after some government job. Where long story short, they won't take her until her credit is cleaned up. They won't take for like
it shows like they can like trust her with other things outside of the work.
For a high paying job, they won't take her ass until. And we just got her some results the other day. And she's on the payment plan, so she kind of like she should have paid for all this shit at once, but so that she would be done. But yeah, there are certain jobs that'll discriminate against you. They can't legally say that, but they're jobs that run credit reports. So pay y'all minimums, bro. Even pay y'all stuff, even if you can only pay the minimum. There's some more advanced stuff that I could talk about. Yeah, on our next one, there's some more advanced stuff that I can talk about.
I'll be skipping sometimes. I gotta stop that shit.
Oh no, yeah, definitely you gotta pay the minimums, bro. At least if you
and look at y'all and look, credit
karma. When you don't pay, they call you from all kind of numbers. I ain't lying.
There's ways to monitor. There's ways to monitor your stuff. Don't go no long time without looking at your credit report. So at least just pay your stuff on time, guys. Even if you only can pay the minimum, pay that shit on time. That's because them late payments gonna kill you.
That is a fact. I got last two questions, I promise, and I'm done. My first question is, in a versus battle, who would win, Drake or Jay-Z, in a versus battle in 2020?
What?
Ho's the greatest, bro. Ho's the greatest. Ho's the greatest. This has been kind of like a talk amongst the guys in the group chat. Hov has, I'm not even sure Drake has a classic album.
Well, stop. See, I liked you. You know what I'm saying?
You the one that asked that silly question, bruh. Why would you pin two people like that against each other?
I just wanted to know.
They're not even supposed to be in the same room.
Drake the man.
No, for sure. But Drake
and
Jay-Z, they're like two different
do not have just hold on, we're going home. He don't have that type of. He don't have that type.
Bro,
of
he got a song cry.
Karaoke. Yeah, that's one song cry he got, but he don't got karaoke. Look, I'm just throwing him out there. Karaoke, Controller. You see what I'm saying? That's a different catalog. That's all I was saying. And my last question. Thank you, by the way, for coming and just sharing your energy, man. This is big money. This is big improvement talk. I love this. So my very last question to you is just, are you looking to buy a podcast in the near future? You know what I'm saying? It's the first of the month. Wake up.
I've considered doing a podcast. It's just now just on some I'm gonna put you like this, bro. I gotta put together some more stories to tell, some more worthwhile stories to tell.
We got you. No, you just invest. You You see what Joe Budden is getting? You see what Joe Rogan is getting? Look, we need a piece of that. Look, I tell you, I know we set up.
Media is the wave. Media is the wave. KK, you want to ask anything before I got up out of here?
Yeah.
No, man, I appreciate it. So basically, what I took away from your credit talk was pay it off and pay it off on time.
Hell yeah. Even if you can only pay the minimum, pay that shit.
That's a fact.
Pay that shit. Like, pay that shit. That's all I can say, yo. Like, pay that shit.
Are you going to tell us your credit score?
All right, one more time, remind the people where to find you.
Instagram, JD Buys Houses. Twitter, JD Buys Houses. Facebook, JD Buys Houses.
Credit score 800, ladies and gentlemen. And we signing out. What
It's got to happen.
Yo, this is beautiful, man. Now, the streets say your credit score is 800, bro. That's what they say.
I may be touching the 8. I may be like 780 right now, but
that's crazy. That is crazy. Please get off my line because my creditors might hear that shit and call me right now. Please get off my line. No
creditors. No creditors.
Julz got I don't know if you know, but Julz got a 2-digit credit score.
Oh no, that's not even possible.
I know, I'm just fucking with it.
Damn, KK. I paid a bill before. Damn,
I know, Julz. You know, I mess with you. Julz got a little property he's sitting on right now.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to bring it to Janky Land one day.
Yeah, I got.
Hey, listen, we got a few things to talk about. Let's do this again real soon, guys. Okay?
We will.
We definitely gonna have you back. Thank you.
I rock with y'all, man.
Word, appreciate you.
I'm gonna let y'all soon.
All right, cool. Sign up. All right, KK.
JD Buys Houses.
I know,
and he about to have to change his name to JD Teaches Houses. Goddamn.
Yo, he said, "Oh, I'm seeing that next year." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna just make sure I read."
Yeah, he said, "I'm seeing an M next year."
Listen, KK, every
manifesting, and he's working.
Every tweet he tweet, I'm reading it like I tweeted it. That's all I'm gonna do. I don't know about you. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, man, this was a special episode.
It was fire. We definitely want to have him back to answer questions. I'm sure people are gonna have questions after watching this.
Man, it's been a long week. Chris just walked in here with the flyers. I'm gonna be honest with you, KK. Chris got. I ain't want to reveal it, man, but I saw 50 trash cans.
Chrissy the Black.
I saw 50 trash cans, KK. I saw 50 of them. KK, the boys is crazy. Listen, the boys get together and start brainstorming. Boy, I'm telling you, man, they are geniuses. I just love this energy. I told you, Janky Ramblers, we are in a black renaissance. You heard? So support your own people. Support the people of your people. You heard? Let's let this thing grow till it's one big cookout. You heard? I'm signing out as American Foreign. You heard? I'm looking for the outro music for y'all right now. We'll be back next week, top of the week, Monday. If you need merch, you can holla at Shifty Rogers at _Shifty Rogers with a ROGERS. You know, we used to tell y'all to send money to the Cash App, but let's be honest, it's the first of the month. We ain't doing that. You heard? Now, KK has a podcast channel. a YouTube channel. Could you tell us more about your channel, KK?
Yeah, if you want to find me on YouTube, it's KMarkelle, KMarkelle. I have a cannabis-based talk show where I basically teach all parts of cannabis. And then I have a new show coming out that's called Pitch Black that me and Julz are working on. So that'll be out very soon. But again, you can find me on Instagram and YouTube at KMarkelle. And I'm on Twitter, KMarkelle1.
Word. I also wanted to shout out Hood Humor Reloaded podcast. We'll be tuning into them Sunday. I believe it's 5 or 6 p.m. I'll have the follow-up details for you guys. That's going to be very interesting. It's going to be on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. So I'll post the details if you follow me on social media. Also follow at PartyInTheLivingRoom on our Instagram channel. KK, you like my radio voice?
Yeah, I like the radio voice. This is good. Good for advertisements.
I'm going to tell you straight up, KK. One thing that I'm not going to do anymore is sex questions. Because everybody was like, yo, you was wildin'. But see, what happened was there was a lot. That wine was in that refrigerator for 2 months and it was open. So that's my story and I'm sticking with it. Outro music will be... Where you want to go with it? You know, you always put me on blast, KK. You got something? Oh, I got you. Can I play something? Because I miss my baby. I miss OG Khalil.
All right, go ahead, play something for OG.
I'm gonna play Beach, okay? My Life's a Beach. This is
OG.
It's an unreleased record, straight from the OG Khalil album for OG Khalil. All right, let's go. Beach.
I counted up just like the threads that's on my sheets. Virginia Beach, Daytona Beach, like Myrtle Beach. No supervisor, I no bus up in these streets. My life's a beach, my life's a beach, my life's a beach. I start the waves by rolling purple and then I surf. The grass look green on the other side, but it's just turf. I counted up just like the threads that's on my sheets. Virginia Beach, Daytona Beach, like Myrtle Beach. No supervisor, I no bus up in these streets. My life's a beach, my life's a beach, my life's a beach. I heard of champagne in your campaign, and they really didn't love you, but you pulled strings and you did things. Oh, you beach now, no more poolside. Would you ride for me? You doing yoga, you want peace now. You coming over, you bought a beach towel for me. I counted up just like the threads that's on my sheets. Virginia Beach, Daytona Beach, like Myrtle Beach. No supervisor, I no bus up in these streets. My life's a beach, my life's a beach, my life's a beach. I start the waves by rolling purple and then I surf. The grass look green on the other side, but it's just turf. I'm on your phone, I guess my buzz is circulating. My TV mounted, I look up like a racing. I counted up just like the threads that's on my sheets. Virginia Beach, Daytona Beach, like Myrtle Beach. No supervisor, I no bus up in these streets. My life's a beach, my life's a beach, my life's a beach. I heard of champagne in your campaign, and they really didn't love you, but you pulled strings and you did things. Oh, you beach now, no more poolside. Would you ride for me?